Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 4 of Scrapbooking 101. We are live here at Paper House Productions, and today we are going to be talking about journaling. I originally thought I'd go down embellishing today, but I feel like my journaling and embellishing kind of overlap as I create. So I decided I'd do the journaling so that I can work it in with the embellishing tomorrow. So we're in the last 2 days of creating, and really kind of a 5-step program. Not necessarily that it has to be broken up that way, but this gives you an idea of how to get started and what we're doing. So let's dive in. I'm just going to talk about a couple of different journaling approaches. So the first one, we're going to look at this West Virginia layout. And one of my favorite approaches to journaling is to type it up and then either cut it out in a block or cut it into strips like this. For this particular layout, I thought it would work well to do strips. And so all I did is literally just jump on my computer, type it out, print it, and then trim it down accordingly. You can use acid-free cardstock to make that stay safe. Stay safe. That's a very popular term right now. We'll go with that one. Stay safe, but stay safe with your scrapbooking products. So I'm going to go ahead and just add this on here where I think I would add it. I'm just looking for some scratch paper to do my adhesive, because on these I like to use the dotted adhesive. So I'm gonna just get some adhesive on these, and then I'll secure them on there. One of the reasons I like typing is just that it ensures that it's totally readable. Now, that does not mean I use exclusively typing. I like to include my handwriting as well, but not always. It really just depends on what kind of mood I'm in and where I'm going with things. And you can see I'm going to kind of overlap my picture here. I am using repositionable adhesive again on this today just because I'm not finishing this, and so I want to give myself the option to pull it back up tomorrow if I want to move it somewhere else. I have to just figure out my order. Okay, here we go. And what I like to do with these strips is I make them so that they're all different lengths as I'm typing, but I like to stagger them and create just a unique additional design element in that respect. Okay, so that's one way to approach it. Especially if you hate your handwriting, that's a really good way to approach it. Now, second one, let's go to the big circle layout. So this one doesn't, as you can see, it doesn't have a lot of room for journaling. There's not a lot of room left. And that does not mean you have to leave your journaling off. You will very often see me and see other scrapbook layout creators leave their journaling off. When I have a situation like this, what I like to do is turn it over and adhere my journaling to the back side. Okay, maybe it's because it's a personal story. Maybe it's because I ran out of room to put it on there. But just because you see a layout that doesn't have it doesn't mean that it doesn't have journaling on it. I very often, in fact, probably I'd say 75% of the time, my journaling goes on the back. I put the date on, I put the story on, and it's there so we can pull it out and look at it later. The other thing you could do with this one, and this is kind of a more creative approach to it, is you could do, and I'm not going to actually do this because I am not sure I want to commit this much, but pull out, like this one isn't going to look as good with a black ink, so I pulled out a green one, but pull out and do your journaling all along this white edge of the circle. Okay, that creates a really unique look and tells the story within the layout. Again, until I do my embellishing, I don't really want to commit to that, so I've left this as an option. But that's just one way. You could also even write it inside of here. Look for white space and places that you could add your journaling within your layout. Now, last one. Okay, we're going back to that sketch that I was using for the basketball layout. Now, this is where sketches are beautiful. They say, put your journaling down here. It's a sketch. It's meant to give you a jumping off point. If you don't like that, you don't have to do it. They will still be able to tell that I was following the sketch, even if my journaling's not in that exact place. So don't feel like when you look at a sketch, you're locked into doing that exact thing. So what I have decided is, since we started showing the usefulness of cut apart cards yesterday, I want to continue with that. Now you can see in this sheet, this could work for journaling. I could even type it and glue strips onto this and create a really unique look. This could work for journaling. This could work for journaling. I like the shape of this, and I talked yesterday about how I like to sometimes just fussy cut elements out of the cut apart cards. So I'm going to show you how I would do that and use it for my journaling today. So you can see I'm just using a pair of fine tip scissors. I would say not very fancy, obviously fancier than like kid scissors like these. They look the same size as kid scissors, but these ones have a fine point tip, so it makes it easier to do your detail cutting. Okay, so that's the major difference. And also I only use these for paper, and who knows what my kids have used those for. So what I just do is I just go around and start trimming, and you can see I'm moving the paper more than I'm moving my wrist, and I'm just going around the edge as close as I can be, nice and tight, and I'll cut off excess pieces so that I don't have to deal with them. Okay, and we're just going to go all the way around that. So today's question for the comments down below, I would love to know, what do you like to include your own personal handwriting on your layouts, or do you prefer to type it? What's your preference, and why? Or are you like me and you go down both routes depending on what you're feeling that day and the design elements and such? Obviously in this one, I'm going to have to do handwriting because I can't type into this. And maybe some of you have a typewriter even that you can use. I know there have been typewriters released over the last couple years that are super useful. I do not have one, so if I can't make it work on my computer printer, it gets handwritten for sure. I guess I should have started this off camera. I didn't realize it was going to take quite so long. So some of the things that you should include when you're journaling, let's talk about that while I'm cutting. When you're journaling, for sure you want to include the date. I always think, oh, I'll remember, I'll just remember. Well, yeah, no. Then something like a coronavirus hits and life gets chaotic and you forget like everything that's happened in the last 5 years and the dates and when and what and how, and you're making a layout about something and you're telling one story and that wasn't actually what happened there. So make sure you include your dates. Even if you're working on old pictures. Like when I get pictures, I like to just quickly jot down the date on the back of them so that I can remember. And I don't worry too much about like this was May 23rd in 2018, but just really the month and the year is what's important to me. That's kind of an individual preference. And then after that, you just want to tell the story. Where were you? Who were you with? That kind of stuff. My kids love, I mean, I've been scrapbooking for the better part of 16 years. And my kids love to look through the books and see all these old stories about themselves and what they were like and when, and they know they can quickly tell, oh, this is when I was 2 and things like that. So making sure to really bring out the whole story there. And then, you know, having different inks and stuff, like different colors, if you don't want to just use black all the time, using different colors to tell that story as well. So I'm not going to decide where this is going today, but I am going to add my writing into it and just tell the story real quick. And I would say I don't really love my writing, but it's okay. So I roll with it. I don't think it's the neatest. I don't think it's the messiest. So it works. This is a page about my daughter was on this basketball team, but I also coached it. So it's kind of a page for both of us. Okay, so that gives you a basic idea of some approaches to journaling. The main point is that it's important. That even if you don't want to include it on the front of your layout, include it on the back side so that you make sure you can remember the story behind the picture. And that is it for today. So we will join you tomorrow for finishing these. So it's gonna probably be a little bit longer just because we're gonna be embellishing 3 different layouts. But we'll just talk about some artistic approaches to embellishing, as well as how I pick the product out that I'm going to use and all that fun stuff. So thanks for being here. We'll see you again tomorrow for day 5.